Yeah, and then I checked it for you, like,
so I graduated as a painting student. Painting, yes. So I basically am a creative painter, and I should be showing you my gallery, my colors, and my palettes and my walls filled with paint as well. So along the line, I made up my mind that I was going to focus on tech, because to me it was more challenging and I could make more impact in tech. So I dropped my brush on, I think, somewhere around February 2002.
Okay, so you actually actively painting
That was the
there.
last time I painted.
Okay.
February 2002.
Wow.
It was like 22 years.
Yes, now.
So ever since then, I've never looked back from focusing on tech. And most of my technology advancement are based on self-taught resources that are abundantly available.
But then
I never really went to a software school.
See, wow.
So I learned online with Code Academy and many other platforms,
Okay.
which is what most people do, really.
Yeah.
Because if you have someone who can explain or answer your question once in a while, you can learn a lot on your own. Because resources are really
Yeah.
So I learned so much that I wanted to make impact in tech more than anything. So that led me to go and work for. So I opted to build a dynamic online store for them, which, as at that time, most churches were not really building this around 2013. So 2004, 2012, 2013, because it's my church, so I joined their service group that is Technology Focus. They asked me to suggest what value I want to be adding, or I want to add. And so I could build an online store, because all the messages I saw that all the things that the bishop was preaching, they all just scattered everywhere. You know, after service they would now release CDs, and people will buy CDs. They will go and rip the messages, put it on their phone, and they'll just be playing it. But one guy opposing the church made a business out of selling the soft copies to people to just download on their phones. Because what he does, once the messages come out, he just read them, turn them to MP3, and when people come with their phones, he just sells them the MP3. So he was actually making a lot of money, because the church didn't see that value chain as something that needed captured. And for me, I felt that there are so many other foreign ministers, Kenneth Copeland, TD Jakes, and all those other big guys. If you go to their website, you see that they have online stores where you pay to either get their books or get their messages. The bishop's books were everywhere. I think some people even did some PDFs of it that they were sharing, and they didn't capture the value chain. You know, so I came and did the proposal that we actually build an online store, and I began all these messages from as in the 80s. So the church, this PA to the bishop on tech, called me for interview, and then asked me whether I really think I can do that. Why not? If you can provide a resource that would be required to do it, I'll do it. I said, okay. The bishop actually I was looking for that. So I should go ahead and do it. So I did that. And it was really a big thing. Because the bishop was the one who announced and launched it. And integrated payment gateways. It was really a big achievement for them.
For the church.
For the church. A big achievement. So they were happy that from anywhere in the world we could get their message. So, but that pointed me to why really one should focus on tech. Because it solves problems.
Yeah.
Solve problems. Just go somewhere, you see problems and think about how to solve them. I built multiple solutions for them using tech. They did what they call SMS enforcement portal, where all the service, all the cells, the church home cells in the church, when they finish selling it, they all use a USSD code to submit their results, their attendance report, and the bishop can see it that same day or the next day. Instead of always asking them where the report 1 week, you never see it. So it was a problem. I solved the problem. Solved the problem of they did new commerce management portal where everybody comes in. They used to use this card to keep record, and when you fill the card, the whole thing is jammed somewhere, and you don't really have visible data that you can use. So I decided to build a new convert and new commerce service portal where they just use my app to enter data from everywhere. Some kind of, so when you click a button, it just get some kind of data that we can use to check how many are being retained, how many came for the second time, how many have been followed up, and all those type of things that makes ministry to be interesting. I did that for I think there's one other one maybe. Okay.
And all these were free.
Yes, most of those ones are free.
Okay.
Well, I was just happy.
During it,
I was happy I have a skill that I can use in doing something in these big organizations. It's a very big organization. Very big organization.
Do you still have
No, I don't.
Okay.
Basically because I look church now from different perspectives. But I'm a very good Christian, do you understand?
Yeah.
The politics side of things are things that put me off about churches. So I use this one they use in staff management portal. It's really a very complicated thing that I did, including procurement and all that. Fantastic. But when you're doing it, a lot of people generally in Nigeria, when you want to create technology transformation tools for organizations, a lot of people will not like it.
Yeah.
Because it helps them to carry out some type of dubious activities without anybody detecting. I remember those days there. Battle I had with these guys. We had every zonal church in Winners have equipment that the church gives to them to run their location because they use decoders to connect to a satellite. And so they church will provide generator, provide the decoder, provide TV. So that decoder was a version of decoder, of strong decoder. So some of them were doing deal with it. So if they sell it, they can come and collect another one. Nobody will say, where is the other one? Okay. It's not the people using it, but the people who are in charge of the records to store people. So I created some type of tracking system to track the moving out and also
Coming back.
and know what is in the store. Come and see what happened.
But did they use it eventually?
They discredited it. Discredited.
Wow.
Just claim that it's not working. They just use battery discredit it because that one would have just ended all those things, you know. Anyway, bottom line is I enjoyed using tech. What to take to solve problems.
So what was now the diversion to blockchain? Yeah.
So I was researching the use of 3D printing machines sometime in 2015. So because I had an event, a tech conference that I attended in South Africa, and as at that time 3D printing was making a lot of waves. 3D printing, this and that. So I decided to order one, and it was a knockdown, so I had to piece it together when I came back. So I started printing with it, just creating any kind of design like this I'll print. So at some point, I started looking at, so how do I turn this thing now into a money-making venture? Is it an exciting technology, but I cannot just be using it as play. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes material. So how do I make it to become money-making? So I'll just research uses of 3D printing. 3D printing. So I now found on an article where one of the uses was that aircraft manufacturing companies were using 3D printers to 3D print unique parts for the planes. And you know how planes are, they need to show originality of the source and all that. So they were using 3D printers to print some parts and using blockchain to track it.
Okay.
So I understood the part of using 3D printing to print parts. I understood that because that information was in news everywhere on the internet. But the other thing they mentioned, which is blockchain, to track the originality of the parts, is what I didn't know. So I now selected blockchain and did a search on it. So I read quite a lot of interesting things, because then there was already, nobody talks about this kind of thing around. Nobody, there was no conference, no workshop, no nothing. Nobody was engaging on that, at least to the best of my knowledge. I never attended anyone. I never even saw anybody who I can say he was like a blockchain person.
Enthusiast.
Yes, it was in 2015. Nobody was really driving anything. So when I read about it, I said, this thing looks like an interesting technology. Now I started looking for where to learn on it. I stumbled in a course by the University of Nicosia, Cyprus. They have opened a 4-week diploma course, 4 weeks diploma course on digital currency, blockchain and digital currency. So I took the course. I signed up for it. I took the course. It was a real eye-opener. It was a 12-part course that took 3 months. If those guys were charging money for that course, I would have paid
3 months.
3 months.
Wow.
And the course was being taught by people we see talking about Bitcoin, Andres Antonopoulos, Andres Panamatic, big guys in crypto world. I just started following them on Twitter. Then they were the ones teaching in the class. So when I finished the course, done my certificate, I got scholarship to do a master's. Because that course qualifies you for masters. It's actually 501. So once you finish it, you will continue to masters and start taking courses for 502 and above. So that was when I now knew that, look, this thing is big. So I started looking for how to share the knowledge with more people. I was talking about it on Twitter, I was tweeting, I was doing Facebook, LinkedIn, and people were getting interested, especially the Bitcoin aspect, the crypto aspect. But I was more like, the technology is huge. You can apply it to this, you can apply it to this. So, so I ran the master's degree course and took more other courses online. That's why I think I should write it.
Bitcoin.
I should just write a book on blockchain. Because there's no book. Nobody can go somewhere and buy anything and hold in his hand like this and hold and read. We're talking about 2015.
Yeah.
All these people being able to like read something on their phone is not a core to them. People still wanted to hold something in their hand and read. Most people didn't even have phone, talk less of functional Android phones. So I wanted to write a small book, probably like a pamphlet. Then when I finished writing it, my idea was I would go and be giving it to all these boss people at Oshodi, at Ikeja, so that they can be selling it inside boss. I don't know if you used to enter boss, there are booksellers.
Yeah, inside
used to carry, pamphlets like this. Some would do something on GSM phones. They would say, okay, short calls for GSM. All those type of things. So I wanted to do one on blockchain and crypto, small like that, so I can just also give them inside, and it would have worked. But by the time I finished writing the book was big. the book was so big. It was 287 pages. It was 287, so it couldn't be pamphleted. So I went ahead to publish it as a regular book, and decided also to start organizing conference. So all this one I'm talking about now, we're now at 2017, early 2017. So that was when I organized the very first national blockchain conference at that civic center. It was big. People everywhere. Traffic. It was something else because it was one of the first visible gathering on that subject. So most people wanted to like come and know what it's all about, and I think I brought one CBN guy, Musai Tupa, the deputy director there. The day before the event, I didn't know the guy was going to come. I just sent him this thing, said he would come. I didn't know that he would come. The night of the next day of the event, he called me and said, Chuta, I'm in Lagos, so my body just did that. It means that we're doing this thing because somehow I didn't know what to expect. The guy just told me, I'm in Lagos. I hope you are ready. So I said, okay, now we are ready. So the next day, more people, press food. I'm telling you, press everywhere.
I didn't pay, wasn't like paid or anything.
We were not paid, it was a free conference.
Like for the press?
No, nobody charged anybody anymore. Nobody charged anyone. On that main conference, the first day, nobody paid time. And all God even helped me to pay for that venue, because the venue, I think that particular event, that venue cost me 2.7 million. So,
as at then?
Yes, as at then. Right now, that venue is 7.5. So it was 2.7 that. I got 3 sponsors. So they are the people who helped us to raise funds to pay it. It was a very successful event. By every standard, people came, had guests from outside Nigeria, outside Lagos. It was a very big one, honestly. I didn't anticipate the level of success at the event. So it set for me the direction that I should pursue. Because as at that time, up to that time, I didn't think that I've done anything that people were interested in as much as they are showing interest in this particular subject.
Yeah.
And they build the application and they do help and all that. But people know they show that kind of interest. In fact, they even they highlight you and all that. But you see this one, everybody was interested. Nobody had opposing view. They just wanted to either they are interested in the blockchain technology or where this crypto something is crypto. This they just wanted it. So my book was ready.
Wow.
So I sold my books. Sold my books. People were like struggling to get a copy. Oh my God, sell I would be up like that before in my life. I'm telling you, people were like, give me a copy, give me a copy, give me a copy.
So then how much are you selling the book?
I think it was 2005. 2005. It was a well-produced book, good quality paper, well-bounded. You know, I tell my son to bring a copy for you. It was a very well-produced book. So it now became my focus to like drive this thing to help as much as possible. Bringing as many people as possible into the industry and ecosystem. And I did Lagos, it was successful. I went to Abuja, I did one, it was successful. I went to Port Harcourt, I did another one, it was successful. In that same 2017, it was back to back. Everywhere we went, people, Abuja people, Rivers, Port Harcourt people. Okay, so in 2018, you know, I repeated the same too, you know, but I started thinking of regulation. Because the moment you start doing this blockchain and crypto thing, it won't take long, you now start jamming it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was in 2019. In 2019, of course, I've set up Blockchain Nigeria as a group far back as 2016. So I was using that as the platform to do most of this stuff. So in 2019, I think we joined FinTech Association of Nigeria in 2018 as an organization member. So if under FinTech, we were on the block side of things there. So whenever FinTech was doing anything, they would write, I will be the one that will talk on blockchain and all that. So they just called me the Blockchain Chuta. That's my ID for it. So in 2019, SEC Nigeria now constituted a committee to do FinTech roadmap of the Nigerian capital market in 2019. And I was drafted by FinTech Association to represent the blockchain ecosystem in that committee because it's FinTech. So I functioned in the committee along some other guys. I mean, it was really very brilliant guys from Deloitte, KPMG, and PwC, all these big four companies, then plus other organizations, then FinTechs too, founders and all that were also part of it. So at the end of the report, I made a case that blockchain needed its own committee so that we can like elaborate and cover up all the other areas that this FinTech roadmap committee was not going to do. So the DG then requested me to like constitute it and appoint, nominate people, which I did, and they formally inaugurated it. So we drafted the very first FinTech roadmap, the very first blockchain and crypto regulation framework for Nigeria. So we submitted, I think around 2020, submitted it. All this while I was still doing conferences year after year, engaging people, bringing users and all that. Okay, so for me, I I think the opportunity that I gave that okay, someone has to do it,
Yeah.
and I decided to be that someone is what paid off, because at the end of the day, I didn't even see anybody I was disrupting, because it was like you enter an express route, nobody was driving.
Yeah.
Just they drive, they go. There was nobody I was competing with, nobody was like joining, everybody now queued up behind. And it became an industry that today you can see how far we have gone.
But during that period, did you like buy Bitcoin?
Because I was also doing crypto.
Okay.
I still do crypto.